This is Super Jeopardy, the continuing $250,000 challenge. Now entering the studio is our third group of semifinals. A law student from West Hollywood, California, Jeff Richmond. An actuary from Vancouver, British Columbia, Bob Blake. And a high school administrator from Medford Lakes, New Jersey, Dave Traini. And now, here is the host of Super Jeopardy, Alex Trebek.
Thank you very much, Johnny Gilbert. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to our Summer Invitational Tournament, Super Jeopardy. This is the last of our semifinal games, and that's why we have just 3 contestants competing this evening. Let me take a moment to tell you how they got here. 3 weeks ago, in what was probably our most contested match, Dave Traini broke away from the pack, which included Chuck Forrest, a former Tournament of Champions winner, and by wagering everything he had on a daily double late in the Double Jeopardy round, Dave Traini was able to win his quarterfinal game. 2 weeks ago, it was the turn of Bob Blake, the quiet Canadian from Vancouver, British Columbia, the actuary who says he's got a funny mind that remembers strange things. He overcame a last-minute surge by Peggy Malis to take his quarterfinal game. And then last week, Jeff Richmond, the law student from Southern California, went into Final Jeopardy in 3rd place. But he was the only contestant to come up with the correct response in the final, and he won his quarterfinal game to give us the threesome we see here today. Whoever wins this game will come back in our next Jeopardy contest to face Bob Barini, the New York actor, and Bruce Seymour, a writer, attorney, and businessman from Northern California, in a match that will pay $250,000, $250,000 to the winner. And so there is a great deal at stake today, gentlemen. Good luck to you. I know you're eager to get into the game, so let's go to work and play this first round. 1 daily double only in this round of play. You know that. Here are the categories for you. Historic names, the American flag, facts and figures, potent potables, famous quotes, and finally, a tribute to the master, Alfred Hitchcock, Hitchcock Blondes. Dave, you get to pick first.
Hitchcock Blondes for 1,000, please.
The answer is, in 1935, this elegant blonde was handcuffed to Robert Donat in The 39 Steps. The actress's name was Madeleine Carroll. Dave, make another selection.
Let's have Hitchcock Blondes for 800, please.
Answer as we move up one. In North by Northwest, Cary Grant asks her, how does a girl like you get to be a girl like you? Dave.
It was Eva Marie Saint.
Correct.
Hitchcock Blondes for 600, please.
She was already Melanie Griffith's mother when she was attacked by the birds. Dave.
It was Tippi Hedren.
Correct.
Hitchcock Blondes for 400, please.
It was curtains for this actress when the shower curtain was pulled back in Psycho. Dave.
It was Janet Leigh.
Yes.
Hitchcock Blondes for 200, please.
She met her prince while shooting her last Hitchcock film in Monaco. Dave?
It was Princess Grace Kelly.
Correct. The film was To Catch a Thief. Select again.
Famous quotes for 1,000, please.
Answer at the bottom of that line. Thomas Paine line that precedes The Summer Soldier and The Sunshine Patriot. Correct response. What is or what are? These are the times that try men's souls. Dave, go again.
Famous quotes for 800, please.
She wrote, gentlemen always seem to remember blondes. Bob.
Anita Loos.
Correct.
Potent potables for 200.
Top of the column. Yukon Jack is a whiskey liqueur imported from this country. Jeff.
What is Canada?
Yes.
The American flag for 200, please.
Answer. He was the first to refer to the flag as a star-spangled banner. Dave.
It was Francis Scott Key.
Correct.
Facts and figures for 800, please.
Answer there. In the 1960s, there were just 400 breeding pairs of these birds in the continental U.S. Now there are over 2,600. Dave.
What are condors?
No, sorry, that is incorrect. Jeff.
What are bald eagles?
Bald eagles is the right response.
The American flag for 400.
You can fly the flag 24 hours a day, but if you fly it at night, you have to do this. Bob.
You have to light it.
Remember to phrase it properly?
What is it? Light it.
That's right.
Facts and figures for 600.
Middle of the column. In 1989, these accounted for over 45% of the Bureau of Printing and Engraving's production. Jeff?
What are $1 bills?
Correct.
The American flag for 600.
The number of these was set by law in 1818, and it hasn't changed since. Jeff?
What are stripes on
Correct.
the flag? The American flag for 800.
The flag code says this is the preferable way to dispose of an old flag. Jeff?
What is by burning it?
You are right.
The American flag for 1,000.
It was reported that the flag first flew here April 6, 1909. Jeff?
Where is the North Pole?
You are right again for 1,000 points, and that takes you to 4,000. You are in the lead. Dave on the board with 1,400. Bob in third place with 1,200. We're going to take a break. We'll come back to chat with the three of you, and then continue with more answers and questions in this semifinal game right after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The first semifinalist we introduced on today's program is a young law student from Southern California, Jeff Richmond, who wanted me to ask him about his college nickname. Wonder why. All right, Jeff, I'll bite. What was your college nickname?
Well, actually, I had a couple. One was Party Animal for reasons I don't want to discuss on network television, but the other was that my friends and roommates dubbed me the repository of useless information because of the strange things that I always seem to know.
Well,
they don't call me that anymore.
I'm sure they don't call you that anymore, and I would bet that all of your friends are now very envious of the fact that you are here on Super Jeopardy competing with a chance for $250,000. How do you feel about it?
Nervous.
Yeah? Well, you should be. Bob Blake from Vancouver, British Columbia. $82,501 in your regular appearances on our program. Now you're in Super Jeopardy, and we introduce you as an actuary. And there are a lot of people who think actuaries lead dull lives. You correct us.
Well, I don't believe that we lead dull lives. I know a book came out a couple of years ago that stated actuary was the top profession, most desirable profession to be in.
Why is that?
Well, I think they had various criteria, which included, they said, job security and interest and various things. I think they were somewhat biased because of the nature of the other jobs, but that they rated highly, but I think that I feel that it's a pretty good job, too.
If you're an example, then actuaries know a great deal, and they can make it pay off on a program such as Jeopardy. Our third semifinalist, Dave Traini, wanted me to wear this hat and add it to my collection, so I will do that. And you are, of course, begging the question, Dave, what's it all about?
Okay, that's a Delsey baseball hat, and this year the Delsey Crusaders were South Jersey state champions in their group, so you're an official member of the team now.
Oh, thank you very much. Do I have to get out and play? I'd like to hit, but I don't want to field.
Okay.
Bad
I'll see what I
gloves,
can
bad
do.
gloves.
See what I can
Is
do.
this going to help you in negotiating a contract for next season?
If the board's watching, yeah, I hope so.
All righty. Let's get back into this first round of competition. Jeff, you're in control of the board. Make the selection for me.
We have historic names for 200, please.
Certainly. The answer there is this. According to family legend, this British prime minister was part Iroquois on his mother's side. Dave.
Who was Sir Winston Churchill?
Right.
Historic names for 800.
Answer. Ethel Rosenberg's relationship to Sergeant David Greenglass, a major U.S. government witness against her. Dave.
What is sister to brother?
Right.
Historic names for 1,000.
In 1676, he led a rebellion against his cousin by marriage, Governor William Berkeley of Virginia. It was Nathaniel Bacon. Back to you, Dave.
Historic names for 600.
When this First Lady died in 1818, her son was Secretary of State. Bob?
It was Abigail Adams.
Right.
Historic names for 400.
Kenyan leader whose first name meant burning spear and whose last name was Kikuyu for a fancy belt. Bob?
It was Jomo Kenyatta.
Right.
Facts and figures for 1,000.
Answer. Number of Americans who have walked on the moon. Bob?
What is 12?
12 is right, an even dozen.
Potent potables for 400.
Answer. The main ingredient in a Chinese cocktail is the Jamaica type of this. Dave?
What is rum?
Right.
Facts and figures for 400.
Answer. Breaking his own major league record of 5, he pitched his 6th no-hitter June 11th, 1990. Jeff?
Who's Nolan Ryan?
You are right.
Famous quotes for 600.
Probably Émile Zola's most famous quote. It's the title of a letter he wrote to the French president. Dave?
What is j'accuse?
J'accuse. I accuse. Correct.
Potent potables for 800.
Answer. Some folks put sugar in a champagne cocktail before adding the traditional dash of this. Bob?
What is bitters?
Bitters. Angostura bitters. Yes.
Potent potables for 1,000.
A gin Ricky usually contains the juice of this fruit? Bob.
What's lime?
Lime is right.
Famous quotes for 400?
Answer. The Daily Double. It's a very close game, but you are in the lead at the moment, Bob, with 5,000 points.
I'll bet 3,000.
3,000. Famous quotes is the category. Here is your clue. Dost thou love life? Then do not squander this, for that's the stuff life is made of.
What is love?
No, do not squander time. Yes, Dave was mouthing it. He knew. It cost you 3,000 points, but you retain control of the board. Where do we go now?
Hold the photables for 600.
Answer. The recipe for a basic stinger calls for equal parts white creme de menthe and this. Bob.
What's brandy?
Right.
Facts and figures for 200.
A cube has this many faces. Bob.
What's 6?
That is right. And our last clue, famous quotes for 200. The 4 words following FDR's yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which, Jeff?
What is will live in infamy?
You are correct. And you are in the lead still with a total of 4,600 points. Dave is in second place with 3,400. Bob faltered a little on that Daily Double, and as a result, he has 2,800. But there is still a lot of ground left with Double Jeopardy. Many points coming up in that round of play following these messages. So far in our Super Jeopardy tournament, an early lead has meant very little because of the great sums of points available in this Double Jeopardy round. The clues are worth anywhere from 500 to 2,500 points. And, of course, we have those 2 Daily Doubles working as well. Let's go to work. And we'll pop the numbers into the screens, and we will show our viewers the categories, which are the Old West, the Mysterious East, nonfiction, physics, myths and legends, and finally, the violin. A great instrument. Bob, your choice.
Myths and legends for 500.
The answer. The Roman goddess of peace. Her name was the Roman word for peace. Dave.
It was Pax.
Pax is right.
Myths and legends for 1,000.
Answer. In Rome, this god who usually wore winged sandals was the god of merchants. Bob.
Who is Mercury?
Yes.
Myths and legends for 1,500.
Neptune was the Roman god of fresh water until he became associated with this Greek god of the sea. Dave?
It was Poseidon.
You are correct.
Myths and legends for 2,000, please.
Iphigenia was the daughter of Agamemnon and this evil queen. Dave?
It was Clytemnestra.
Right.
Myths and legends for 2,500, please.
The Aeneid says when her brother killed her husband, she fled Tyre and later founded Carthage. Bob?
Who's Dido?
Good for 2,500.
Nonfiction for 500.
Answer. Her north to the Orient and listen the wind tell of flights she took with her aviator husband. Jeff?
Who's Anne Morrow Lindbergh?
You are right.
The Mysterious East for 500, please.
Answer. Tonkin is the northern part of this country. Jeff?
What is Vietnam?
Right.
Mysterious East for 1,000.
This country's unit of currency is the tugrog, which is divided into 100 mongo. You might expect it is Mongolia. Jeff, back to you.
The Mysterious East for 1,500, please.
This country leads the world in the production of rubber and tin. Bob?
What's Malaysia?
Right.
Mysterious East for 2,000.
The Komodo dragon is native only to this island nation. Dave?
What is Japan?
No. Jeff?
What is Indonesia?
That is the right response.
And the Mysterious East for 2,500, please.
For some 2,000 years, these Chinese bureaucrats got their jobs by passing civil service tests. Dave?
Who were the Mandarins?
Mandarins. That adds 2,500 to your total.
Physics for 2,500, please.
Answer at the bottom of that column. From Greek for icy cold, the physics of very low temperatures is called this. Dave?
What is cryogenics?
Cryogenics is right.
Physics for 2,000, please.
Answer. Homogenized milk is an example of this suspension of small droplets of one liquid in another. Dave?
What's an emulsion?
Emulsion or colloid, yes.
Physics for 1,500, please.
Sometimes called the fourth state of matter, it's a mixture of ions and free electrons. Dave?
What is plasma?
Yes.
Physics for 1,000, please.
The use of transparent strands of glass to transmit light. Jeff?
What is fiber optics?
Right.
The Old West for 500, please.
Jesse's less famous brother. He surrendered in 1882 and became a respected citizen. Bob?
Who was Frank James?
Correct.
Nonfiction for 1,000.
Answer. He comments on sports as big business in his bestseller, I Never Played the Game. Bob?
Who's Howard Cosell?
Right.
Nonfiction for 1,500.
In Letters from the Field, 1925 to 1975, she discussed anthropology methods she used. Jeff?
Who's Margaret Mead?
Right.
Nonfiction for 2,000.
Dale Carnegie published material from his public speaking class in this 1936 book. Jeff?
What is How to Win Friends and Influence People?
You are right.
The Old West for 1,000.
Answer. Morgan Earp survived this October 26, 1881 event, but was assassinated a few months later. Dave?
What is the shootout at the OK Corral?
Gunfight or the shootout at the OK Corral. You are right.
Let's finish physics for 500, please.
Answer. Deuterium is called heavy hydrogen, and deuterium oxide is called this. Dave?
What is heavy water?
Correct.
Nonfiction for 2,500.
The answer there, a daily double. You have the lead, Dave, by 3,300 points over Jeff.
Let's try 1,500, please.
All right, for 1,500 in nonfiction, here is your clue. In this 1990 book, Richard Nixon discusses life after his resignation.
Okay, what is the final crisis?
No, I'm sorry. The book is called In the Arena. In the Arena. You didn't lose very much on that, and you retain control of the board. Make another selection.
Old West for 2,000, please.
The answer? The other daily double.
$100.
All righty.
One spit and twice shy.
All right. I can understand and sympathize with you, believe me. For $100, then, the category is the Old West. Here is your clue. Robert Leroy Parker used this alias in honor of a rustler he rode with as a teenager.
Who's Bronco Billy?
I'm sorry?
Who is Bronco Billy?
No, and you did well to risk
Wise
just
choice, yes.
$100 or 100 points because the correct response is who is Butch Cassidy? Butch Cassidy. All right, pick again.
Oh, the violin for 500, please.
Answer. A violin's fingerboard is made from this extremely hard black wood. Jeff?
What is ebony?
Yes.
The violin for 1,000.
This Israeli-born violinist, a former child prodigy, is known to his friends as Pinky. Dave?
Who's Perlman?
No. Bob or Jeff? Jeff?
Who is Menuhin?
No. Bob doesn't want to try it. The correct response, who is Pinkus Zuckerman? Pinkus Zuckerman. Jeff, we go to you for the next selection.
The violin for 1,500.
One of these violins, stolen in 1936, supposedly sold for $100. In 1987, it was worth $1 million. Bob?
What's the Stradivarius?
You are right.
Violin for 2,000.
Early 19th century virtuoso whose playing was so incredible, some believed he was in league with the devil. Bob?
Who's Paganini?
Right.
The violin for 2,500.
This Lithuanian-born violinist taught master classes at USC before his death at the age of 86 in 1987. Dave?
Who was Yasha Heifetz?
You are right, and we have 2 clues left on the board in the Old West category.
Let's do 1,500, please.
His nickname was short for his first name, Bartholomew. It didn't refer to a walking stick. Dave?
Who was Bat Masterson?
That's right, and our last clue for 2,500 points. Cole Younger was probably the father of this Lady Desperado's daughter, Pearl. The lady's name was Belle Starr. That wraps up the Double Jeopardy round. Dave in the lead with a total of 16,800 points. Next comes Bob with 12,800. Jeff in third place with 11,600. Obviously, it is still anyone's game. Gentlemen, we're going to show you the final Jeopardy category, and during the commercial break, you can decide on how much of your earnings to this point, how much of your point total you want to risk on your knowledge of the subject, which is the Nobel Prize. Think carefully. We'll be back with a clue right after this. I would like to add my applause for these 3 contestants who have performed brilliantly up to this point. Gentlemen, good luck in this final Jeopardy. Still anyone's game, of course. The Nobel Prize is the category. In a moment, I'll give you the clue. You'll then have 30 seconds to write down your question. Be sure you phrase your response in the correct manner, please. Final Jeopardy answer today is this. In 1930, this novelist became the first American to win the Nobel Prize for Literature. Good luck. Our time is up. Your time is up. Let's take a look and find out what you put down as your responses. Jeff Richmond, we're going to begin with you. Your response to this Final Jeopardy clue was, who was Pearl Buck? I'm sorry, that is wrong. What did you risk? $1,201 point. I'm back to dollars again. You're down to $10,399 as we go to Bob Blake in the middle. He had 12,800 points. His response to this Final Jeopardy clue was, who was Sinclair Lewis? That's right. What was your wager? 10,401 points. That takes you to 23,201 points and puts you in the lead as we come to Dave Traini. His response was, who was Sinclair Lewis? That is right. Did he wager enough to win the game? He's nodding. Let's take a look. The wager was 8,900 for a total of 25,700. And Dave Traini, congratulations, Dave. You're going into the final. You've just assured yourself of at least $25,000. That's a challenge to Bob Rainey. Well, I was about to say that in that final game, the next Super Jeopardy contest, you're going to be going up against the man who defeated you in a Tournament of Champions a few years ago, Bob Varini, the New York actor. So you're going to be fighting against him again. But there's also that Northern California businessman named Bruce Seymour. You have to watch out for him as well. But it should be a most exciting contest. Join us next time, please, for the final, the $250,000 final of Super Jeopardy. So long, everyone. Later, go.
David Brinkley here. On our This Week program Sunday, Perez de Cuellar of the United Nations is talking to Iraq, looking for a peaceful settlement. Will he find it?
Wednesday, Kevin bears witness to his sister becoming a woman and Dad's reaction to the maturing of his little girl on the Wonder Years. Then, a streak of bad luck has the Seavers in hot water on Growing Pains. Now, stay tuned for Monopoly next.